Hello and welcome to the Liberal Studies presentation of class scheduling and planning. This is intended for CSULB students in the Liberal Studies major only. If you have any questions about the presentation, make sure to reach out to the Teacher Preparation and Advising Center, as where we're located, also known as TPAC. You could just Google CSULB Liberal Studies or CSULB TPAC. For again, any questions you have, you can give us a call, stop by for drop-ins for advising. First, I want to show you some degree planning tools. So Beach Connect on your single sign-on is how you will request an appointment with an advisor. Also, you have your degree planner, which is a very helpful tool, but keep in mind that the degree planner is not official, okay? So, but it's a great tool to kind of help you visualize where or see, how much longer it will take you to graduate and schedule your courses accordingly each semester. Now, each semester, there's also the class schedule planner that will help you figure out your schedule for that semester specifically. Now, the class schedule planner will so you won't have to actually do anything as far as confirming the class scheduling conflicts. This will do that for you. So the class schedule planner, you just input your courses that you want to take for the semester, say 4 or 5 classes, and then it will give you the schedules so that it does not conflict with the other classes. So you don't have to worry about, oh, is this class Monday, Wednesday, this class is Tuesday, Thursday at certain times. The class schedule planner does that for you. If you're not sure how to use any of these degree planning tools, just Google CSULB degree planner or CSULB class schedule planner, and those will give you helpful guides on how to use these tools. But your most important tool as an undergraduate here at CSULB is your academic requirements report. So also known as the ARR. You could just Google CSULB academic requirements report to give you a heads up on how to use the academic requirements report. So this is your student center. You'll go on your student center on your My CSULB. You'll see the arrow. You'll click on this menu item, and then you'll click on academic requirements. And this is the an example of what it looks like. You'll see here, you want to make sure you're checking it at least once a semester to make sure you're on track. You'll go down to where it shows the class schedule, your class schedule, the classes itself, and green means it's complete, yellow means it's in progress, and red means you still need to complete it. It is basically an electronic version of your checklist of classes, but the academic requirements report is your official record. It is your official record of what Enrollment Services uses to verify your degree requirements. So it is your responsibility as a student to make sure that you're checking your academic requirements report for accuracy at least once a semester. This is what Enrollment Services uses to verify your degree requirements. So if you are planning to graduate and there's a red box on your ARR, well, guess what? You're not graduating. So make sure you're being responsible and you are checking this to make sure it's accurate. If there are any discrepancies, it's up to you to reach out to a liberal studies advisor to make sure that it's reading accurately if there are any discrepancies that need to be corrected. All right. So for start scheduling your courses each semester, if you are a first year freshman, even if you're a transfer student or you just maybe switched your major, your most important courses to take initially are your pre-major requirements, and these need to be completed within your first 60 units. Okay. Ideally, you want to complete these if you're a first year freshman in your first year. So these 7 courses are your priority to take, okay? And you will see this listed on your sheet. Actually, I highlighted them on this sheet just for this presentation so you could see it, but this isn't really, this is the MSR here is not on the regular sheet. So you can mark these yourself now to make sure you know which courses are your priority to take to get admitted into the major. Okay, so area 1 groups 1 through 3, area 2 group 1, area 4 group 1 and 2, and area 6 group 2. These 7 courses, the MSRs, are your courses for admission into the major. So this is, if you're a first year or switching into the major, you need to complete these 7 classes to get into the major, and you need to do that within your first 60 units. Ideally, you want to complete these within your first year. Now, if you're a transfer student and you're missing any of these, then you want to make sure you're taking these immediately in your first semester. Okay? If you're a transfer student and you're still missing one of these 7, that's your priority to make sure you're completing for your first semester. All right. All right. So when you are selecting your courses each semester, you need to make sure you are finishing your courses accordingly, really depending on your year. So lower division courses are 100 to 200 level courses. Those are for freshman, sophomore students. Okay. If you are a transfer student, that means you're a junior. And if you still have lower division courses that you have not taken, you need to focus on your lower division courses. Okay. So juniors, transfers in particular, if you still have 100 to 200 level courses, make sure those are your priority. Okay. You're taking these as your prerequisites. Okay, so then that's 100 to 200 level is your freshman, sophomore level courses. And then your upper division, 300 to 400 level, is your junior, senior level courses. Okay, so transfer students, if you have still lower division courses, make sure you're completing those. Freshmen, sophomores, make sure you complete those before you even move on. Sophomores and juniors, you don't want to move on to 300 level courses if you still have 100 to 200 level courses left. Okay, so always these are your prerequisites before you move on to the capstones. Capstones at the end, you cannot enroll in your capstones until you've completed the prerequisites, right? And then if you're doing ITEP, then you will complete the credential courses. Or if you're doing the BA only, you will need to make sure you have your elective credits and your concentration, okay? So concentration or elective credits if you're doing the BA only without the credential. So choose courses from different subject matter areas. Make sure you're doing it from different subject matter areas, not focusing on one area. Do not avoid math or science. I see it all the time where students are avoiding the math or science, and then they need to take 2 math classes in a semester to graduate on time, and you're only shooting yourself in the foot if you're doing that. So make sure you are making progress in your math and science classes. I would recommend take your SURF courses as soon as possible. Now, if you're a first year student, I would not recommend taking the EDL 200 in your first year. I would say EDL 200 is best to take in your second or third year. The EDL 200 course is required for admission into the MSCP and requires fingerprinting, and that fingerprint is valid for 5 years. So you don't want to do this class too early and have to do then your fingerprinting again if you don't complete the credential within those 5 years. So the EDL 200, I would say take in your second year if you're a first year. If you are a transfer student, then you want to make sure you take the EDL 200 in your first semester or first year for sure, because this is required for admission into the MSCP. Okay, so when you look and make sure you are, again, success is a balancing act. So don't forget, you have to make sure you have time for studying, for work. Make sure you take care of yourself, eating and exercising. Enjoy a social life. If you have, family time, things like that. So you want to make sure you're taking all of this into consideration along with the courses that you're taking. So that when you look at this checklist of classes, again, you want to make sure you're taking courses from different subject areas and you're 100 to 200 level. You'll see here, these are the 100 level courses, 200 level. Those are, again, freshman, sophomore level courses. So if you are a transfer student and you still have 100 to 200 level courses, you should be focusing on those 100 to 200 level courses. The capstone is at the end. And see here, you cannot take this capstone until you've completed or have in progress these prerequisites. So say, for example, in Area 1, you have 1 through 5 complete. You're enrolled in Group 6. Then even though you haven't completed Group 6, but you're enrolled in it, the system will allow you to take the capstone, okay? So even if you haven't finished because registration will be during the semester, so you won't have the grades for some of your classes. But as long as you have them either completed or in progress, then you can enroll in the capstone, okay? Keep in mind that for the math and science, you need to make sure that you are taking these the prerequisites before you take the capstone, because there's no exceptions where if you need to take a math prerequisite in the same semester as the capstone, they will not allow you to do that. However, if you need to take a LST 400, LST 471, or LST 404, the Liberal Studies Department can give you permission to enroll in a prerequisite in the same semester as the capstone for one of those three. Again, LST 400, LST 471, or LST 404, you can take with a prerequisite in the same semester, but you need to email the Liberal Studies Department in order to get a permit for that. However, for math and science, you will not be able to get permits for that. So you need to make sure you're completing those prerequisites before you move on to the capstone for the math and sciences, okay? So again, focus on your lower division courses, 100 to 200 level. Those are freshman, sophomore level courses. Then moving on to the 300 to 400 level and your capstones. If you are doing, and that's your part A, do not forget your part B. So then if you're doing the BA only without the credential, you'll need to have a concentration and complete the 120 units. If you're doing ITEP, then you will complete the credential, which is 31 additional units beyond your part A, your BA classes. And keep in mind, if you are doing ITEP MSCP, you will not get your bachelor's degree until you complete the credential, okay? So your graduation term is the term that you complete student teaching for the MSCP. Now, if you are doing the ITEP MSCP and say you're not completed with your BA classes, say you have 1 or 2 classes left. Well, if you have 1 or 2 classes left, you can take those credential courses along with your remaining BA classes. But keep in mind, the BA courses, part A, those are, they're giving you the knowledge. You are learning the information about the language arts, the math, the science, the history, social science. The MSCP teaches you then how to teach that information. So you don't want to start taking these courses, the credential courses, before you've completed the BA classes, because you want to learn the information first before you learn how to teach it. Now, if it worst comes to worst, where you are, you need to take them together, then you can. But ideally, you want to first focus on your BA classes before you move on to the credential courses. Okay. And if you, so when you look at this sheet, these are the credential courses, as I mentioned. So you'll see here at the bottom of your checklist, it's the same classes. These are the courses that you need to take. It's an additional year for the liberal study. If you got your degree in liberal studies, whether you're doing the BA first or ITEP, it's the same credential. So even if you get the BA only, you graduate and you come back for the credential as a post-baccalaureate, it's going to take you in about a year. It's the same classes no matter what. For the liberal study only, that's only if you got your degree in liberal studies here at CSULB, then it's an additional year. If you got your degree, your BA in anything else, then it's going to be different. It'll be a year and a half for you. But for liberal studies majors at CSULB, it's an additional year to complete the credential. Okay. Again, if you have any questions, make sure you reach out to the Teacher Preparation Advising Center or the Liberal Studies major. If you need an updated checklist of classes, So you'll see this checklist I have. Again, this is, I just put MSRs on here, so this is not what's typically on the checklist of classes. But if you need a new version of the checklist of classes, go to the Liberal Studies website and go on where it says Forms and Documents. Click on the plus sign. Click on the Academic Planning Documents. And then here, the first one, you'll click on here, and then you'll be able to get the new version of the core handout. Also, if you need additional assistance with selecting your courses each semester, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, 100 to 200 level, 300 to 400 level capstones, right? But if you need further assistance, here is our graduation roadmaps. They kind of have it outlined. Now, the way I explain is a little different from this, so you don't have to follow exactly the way I did it, but this is another way that you can follow scheduling your courses each semester for the roadmaps. Okay. And if you're doing ITEP UDCP, make sure you reach out to Liberal Studies Advisor to make sure to confirm when you're eligible. So you also want to make sure if you're doing the various pathways that on here on your checklist, for example, if you're doing ITEP MSCP Spanish BILA, ITEP UDCP, or ITEP Special Education ESCP, you want to make sure you look at the red text to make sure you're not taking courses that you don't need, right? Don't take a class that you don't need or don't, yeah. So make sure you're looking at this. If you're doing the BA only, or the ITEP MSCP, you will need to complete everything on this checklist, okay? So again, to reiterate, your focus is 100 to 200 level courses as a freshman, sophomore, and if you're a transfer student, make sure you're completing those sooner rather than later. Taking those prerequisites, the 300, 400 level, before you move on to the capstones. So it's always prerequisites before capstones. Prerequisites before capstones. So your 100 to 200 level, 300 to 400 level, then your capstones. You'll notice area 2, you don't necessarily have to go in numerical order. So you'll see here, area 1, area 2, group 1 has a 100 to 200 level, then it moves to the 300, but you can take this one first. So group 1 to then group 3, 200, and then group 2, so forth. So as long as you're making progress in your prerequisites before you take the capstone. So anything prior to the capstone is a prerequisite for the capstone. So prerequisites before capstones, lower division before upper division courses, okay? Lower division are 100 to 200 level. Upper division courses are 300 to 400 level, all right? Again, if you have any questions, reach out to TPAC and go teach. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.